So before this episode starts, if you do enjoy the Leg It podcast and you do want to support us for just £1 a week, you can on Patreon. And with doing so, you get early access to all our episodes and an extra weekly episode of me and Jordan just chewing the fat. Thanks for the support. Nice one. Welcome to the Leg It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Happy Friday, everyone. Big thanks again to Monterex and to Ver. If you want to take advantage of their discount codes, it's LegIt20 for Ver, and it's just Leg It on its own on Monterex. You get 20 and 15% off, respectively. Go and support the sponsors, and yeah, massive thanks to them for helping us out. Another big week in sport, Jord.
Oh, mate, loving it.
Apologies straight away, our bets went down the Swanee.
I'll start with me because yours is quite funny.
Go on.
So I went, obviously, fight not to go the distance between Chikadze and Calvin Keita. One, I was annoyed at myself because, as I said last week, I would never bet against Calvin Keita because of the power he's got. But in my mind, I thought, if he hasn't like depleted because of that Max Holloway fight, he could win this. But I thought, no, I'm wishing on a star there, do you know what I mean? And then obviously he wins. So I was annoyed at myself for that. But I don't know how it went the distance, I'm sorry.
Yeah, his chin. He's got it with some bit, and that
elbow.
The elbow. Like it was like he caught him at one and thought, I'm catching him every time here.
Elbow.
I didn't watch the whole fight, I only watched the highlights, the extended highlights.
By round two, as round two was ending, I thought, I'm in the money. There's no way these are going. And, you know, to be fair to Chikadze, he's had all these plaudits about being, you know, you see the way he throws them kicks, they're nasty, but, you know, he's had all this stuff about, you know, being potential champ and all that stuff. But when the chips were down and, you know, went against him, mate, he reacted, do you know what I mean? He wasn't, wasn't an ounce of quitting him. He wasn't an ounce of quitting either of them, but sometimes it just goes like that, but I'm still astonished it didn't.
Nah, it was a good fight. My bet as well could not have went any more wrong. I said I don't fancy Emma Raducanu to do much, and I backed her to get beaten straight sets. She won the first set 6-0.
I backed it, and I think I texted you. I said, "Oh, what time's it going?" He said, and I was actually doing. I was working at Starbucks that day, so I went to Starbucks and I thought, I'll check it. Emma Raducanu 5-0.
I was watching it. I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Little side point on this.
She's fucking good.
Well, she's actually playing at the minute in the second round. It's 1-set all. So hopefully by the end of the podcast we might have a bit more clarity on it. But they stopped for a medical break. I don't know who's. Yeah, I don't know what type of medical.
We're not talking about fighting this week. Okay? Just had enough of it.
So at the minute it's 1-set all. But what I will say is fair play to her. She won the first set 6-0 and then dropped the second set and then come back in the third and smashed it again. But one little story that popped up this week was talking a little bit about sexism in sport. The girl who she was playing in her own right, Sloane Stephens, she's won the US Open herself, you know what I mean? She's an accomplished women's tennis player. And there was a story in the paper, I think in the Daily Mail, and it said Emma Raducanu's opponent marries Hull City midfielder fucking like, you know,
really?
Dave fucking whoever it was, she's married.
Like some low level football instead of
well, I don't know even low level, just a footballer in Britain. And it was rather than she's playing against, you know, Sloane Stephens. I thought that's a bit of a cheap shot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, fucking Daily Mail, come on. Can you imagine the Daily Mail officers? I reckon everyone is just about 4 stone overweight. And then people with a belly like hands over the belt. Yeah. There's loads of them. Sorry if that's you, it's me as well. But
that was our bet, so apologies. Yeah. Can't win every week.
Sorry about that.
What else has happened in sport? If we stay on tennis for a bit, obviously Novak's gone, hasn't he? Like, as in
got carted out.
100% gone. I just think it opens the door for Nadal, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You'd assume Nadal, I think he won straight sets in the first game. Andy Murray's gone.
Wait, what's going on with Murray? Like,
I don't know, mate, but he's got beat. He's ranked 113th in the world, and he's just been put out by the lad who's 120 in straight sets. 6-4, 6-4, 6-4.
Just gone, on he's gone pure tin Emmen.
Andy Murray needs to just go, you know what? I had a good run at it.
Didn't he get his hip like rebuilt?
Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries.
I watched that Amazon thing with him.
I've
seen that where you know, there's like whatever the like bone is, like ball. He pulled it out and like inserted like a metal, and it's disgusting me. But he's gone to some lengths to extend his career in like.
Tennis is unfortunately going through that kind of. I say this for me personally, for me anyway. It's gone through this thing with the big names that you knew of. They're all just getting old, as it does with everyone, and like these new people. So, I don't know if you've heard of I can never say his name, Kiriaros. He was like the Australian lad. He's a bit of a hothead. You know, he's now ranked 115th in the world.
Mate, have you ever seen this thing where he's getting interviewed at Wimbledon, and the girl asks him a question? He goes, "Hang on a minute, you were in the boozer last night?"
No.
Oh, mate, I'll try and get it. I'll send it to you. So she asked him a question. I think there's like it's called the Duck or something like that in Wimbledon,
right?
Where people congregate on Wimbledon week, and she's like obviously working, being out the night before, and he blows her up right in the middle of the.
He seems like you know what I mean, a good character, but even him, he's playing as we speak now. He's now ranked 115th in the world, and he's playing against the second in the world, a lad I've never even heard of, Medvedev.
Oh yeah,
from Russia.
Yeah, Russian, yeah.
He's currently second in the world. He's getting beat 2-0. So for me, anyway.
It's such a hard sport to track.
Yeah, it is. It's because it goes on all year long,
so
doesn't it? It's a sport, I think, along with golf, I'd want my daughter to get into, because you never play in the rain. It's always
fair weather sport.
You just follow the sun, don't you? You just follow the sun all around the world.
Anything indoor or hot.
So yeah. Apologies for knocking Emma, although it still looks that she could go out second round at the moment. She's hopefully we can give you an update by the end of the show, but she's she's drawing 1-1 at the moment. Anything else in tennis? What's there to talk about?
I haven't after that bet I slipped away. Headed back to me Chicago Bears obsession.
Have you got on with that? Any more American sports for us this week?
Well, I've been closing in on the basketball, which again it's a bit like basketball. They play like every other day. It's mental. Well, the Chicago Bears are just searching for a general manager, searching for an actual coach. Oh mate, I don't know what I'm getting myself in for here. Could be bad, you know. It could be bad.
Not good. Mate, the probably big news, which we'd say football to last week, but might be worth just jumping in straight away. The old news across the park.
Oh no, Rafa, go on.
I seen a thing that Carragher put up, and he said, you know, it's just going to be dead interesting to see what happens this season. You know, he said, I'm just going to get a big box of popcorn and just watch it. And he's right. I mean he's not. To
be fair, like, obviously he's gone, but within a week, you know, all the stuff Everton have put out, I know they put Duncan Ferguson in. I've actually seen some Everton fans like, oh my God, like I'm looking forward to Saturday now. Like the longest time, they've just been like dreading every game. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Duncan Ferguson's going to, you know, go and get the manager's job or take them to where they need to be, but like at least they're going into the game with Villa this weekend and they've got a bit of positivity, or they want to be there. Should be, mate, that'll be some atmosphere, you know. It's the early kick-off as well, isn't it?
Stevie G back,
Duncan in the opposite thing. Everton fans right up for it. Coutinho probably in for his first game.
You know, for me as a Red who wants Everton to not do well, I say as in not win.
Yeah.
I'd like them to get Rooney. And the reason I say that is I don't think Rooney will come in there and will get rid of Ferguson and Unsworth. And I think that's what's needed.
You think Rooney would do that?
I don't think he would, no.
He wouldn't.
He's not going to go in and sack his old mate, is he? His heroes. Yeah. Ferguson was his hero. He's not going to come in and go, Dunk, you've been here. Yeah. There's been 5 managers in the past 5 years and they've all done shit and they've all been binned. However, you're still here. I'm not saying it's down to Ferguson, by the way. He seems like a boss fella. Yeah, like he seems like an absolute diamond.
His heart's definitely in the right place.
But the thing I'll say about Ferguson, just looking in, is he's been there 5 years as assistant manager, and they've not done anything in 5 years. So one, his character needs to be, I think, he needs to ask himself, or people need to ask him, you know, are you just happy being a second man, or should you now be looking at him going, mate, you need to step up and go somewhere else and manage?
I think it's on him to say, look, I either want to be the manager or that's it. But I've seen him say this week, as long as Everton want me, I'll be here. And I think that is, as I say, his heart in the right place. Obviously he just wants to serve Everton. I mean, don't think anyone could doubt that he loves the club and stuff like that. He does, but
maybe loving the club, loving the club doesn't get you fucking silverware. Do you know what I mean?
I think if they're going to go anywhere, mate, I'd go Ferguson before Rooney, because I'm not saying Rooney's doing a really good job. Full time, or Rooney's doing a really good job, but if he, a bit like what Lampard did with Chelsea, and I know they're not massively comparable in terms of where they are as a club, but Lampard went really good at Derby, like jumped to Chelsea. Now what? Everyone's like, well, he's not really talked about for any other job, is he? I think Rooney needs to go Derby, even stay there, or go one more, then go to Everton. Do you know what I mean? And go to Everton as Rooney the manager, rather than Rooney, who's probably the greatest player to ever wear our shit. Do you know what I mean?
The other big issue, I think, if Rooney did go to Everton and he gets them relegated, fuck me, that tarnishes a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I'd give it to Ferguson, mate.
But what if Ferguson gets them relegated?
Me mate, Willow made a good point. He was like, that's what the fans want though. They want one of their own in. So for the club to go, well yeah, this is what you wanted. You want him in there. We'll back it, no problem. Then if it goes wrong, the board are like, well, you know what I mean? That's what you wanted. So it's a good decision for the board. But I think if Ferguson goes in, they'll put a run of games together where they get draws and wins just on momentum. And that'll probably pull them clear, I reckon. It
would be interesting to hear people's views who listen to this, what they think about the whole Unsworth-Ferguson thing, because me looking in, not even as a Red, just as an outsider, if there's any business and the second in command is there throughout all these failures, but yeah, the guy at the top keeps on losing his job, there's got to be a point where you go, the backroom staff might need mixing up a bit.
Yeah. I think Liverpool's blessing is, like, obviously we don't really have that at the moment, because we're run very much like a business, much to the hatred of most of our fans. But if you look at it, the alternative is probably what Everton are doing, where they're run as a, you know, an old boys club, an old charity, sort of, you know, even, you know, people say like Fabian Delph and stuff. It's Butlands, isn't it? At the end of your career, you get nice little payday, not much pressure, because they're not run in a way of like they have to churn out results as a business.
But I don't know any other club though. Like every time, I remember being there when Rafa Benitez come in. And I went up to Melwood and Phil Thompson, I seen him at the shop at the end of the road, and Phil Thompson had just been sacked. We were all in school, or maybe like 15 something, and he went, we were like, oh Phil, what's happening? And he went, I've got the bullet, lads. Like, Rafa doesn't come in and go, oh, Tomo won the European Cup as captain, you can stay. He comes in, he goes, right, you're all gone, my staff are coming in, and a year later we win the European Cup.
Yeah, Everton need a massive culture change, 100%, but if they want to stick with the way they go, I think they keep Ferguson in. Let him do whatever he's got to do to either cement the job for himself or completely take himself out of the club. Because if he fails as a manager, at least then you can cut loose and say it did not work. Do you know what I
mean? I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I disagree. I wouldn't put Ferguson there. I'd get Lampard in.
No, fuck that. Fuck that, mate. Lampard and Everton couldn't be more polar opposite. He's not going to...
You've just said he's done a decent job at Derby.
But then went to Chelsea. But can you imagine...
He went to Chelsea. His squad at Chelsea won the European Cup. Tuchel took over halfway through the season, won the European Cup. He's now in a similar position. Lampard was better off.
Yeah.
A year ago, Lampard was a Chelsea manager and had a better points tally than what Tuchel's got now.
I hear that, but it's... I mean, I don't know.
So what you're saying, no, because of the fit?
I just don't think... I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I can imagine him going somewhere and doing quite well or whatever, but Everton and Lampard, mate, is just, for me, you're kicking the can down the road, because as soon as it goes wrong, Everton and Lampard couldn't be more polar opposite in terms of the club and the player. So as soon as it goes wrong, it just goes toxic straight away again. He won't get anything about Everton. I
get what you're saying, but the alternative is keep Ferguson in, who, like I've just said, has been there fucking forever, and it's got worse.
That's definitely that's the problem that they get paid a lot of fucking money to solve. But you can't divide Everton fans anymore. I don't think personally.
The last thing I'll say in Everton, which probably is the worst thing you can say about them at the moment, is I was speaking to an Evertonian and I was like, I've got to a point where I'm not even like I feel sorry. It's that bad. You know, the club is ran that bad. And they turned around to me and said, I'd rather you just said we were shit, and like, yeah, you're just shit. It's like it's that, like, you know, yeah, it's like your parents, they're not shouting at you, it's like, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually feel sorry for them now. It's a bad situation for them. And the last thing to finish off on them, you look at the fixtures, they got Villa at the weekend, it's hard. Then they've got the FA Cup. Then it's a 6-pointer against Newcastle, a 6-pointer against Leeds. Then they're away to Southampton. Then at home to City. And then away to Spurs. That's like the next 5 or 6 games. I mean, where's the break coming?
Yeah, they've got to pull some results out their arse, mate.
If they don't go down, they'll finish 17th. They will not finish higher than 17th. Anyway.
To be honest, surviving by the skin of the teeth might be the best thing to happen to them, because then it's a full reset. But yeah, it's a dangerous game, mate. I don't want Everton to do bad, so fucking I hope they get out, but I'm not confident anymore. I'm really not. It's getting to that point where it's like a couple of people are saying it's a crisis, but then a couple of people are holding off, but it's like it's becoming inevitable. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, no, mate, it is a relegation fight.
Someone needs to fucking press that panic button now.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. We've just mentioned it a little bit then, Derby. Seen a thing this week, Jagielka's contract's been cancelled today, so he won't be eligible to face Sheffield on Saturday. Rooney's fuming. Admin's hopeful of naming preferred bidder in the next week. Like, he's dealing with some shit there. You know what, I don't... And again, someone let me know, please, in comments or messages, but has he done a good job? I mean, looking in, it looks like he has, because you just see drama and admin all the time there. But it's hard to know. I mean, has his squad been depleted that much? I mean, has it? I don't know the Derby squad to know whether he has, had his hands tied so much or what. But
yeah, I think it's more what they were cast away, weren't they? Like, what was it, 12-point deduction or something like that? I think it's more the fact that he's kept them at it. How easy would it be to just go, fuck me, we're down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, if they never had that points deduction, where would they be? Would we still be saying, they're fucking, they're doing well?
Well, he'd only be, give or take maybe, 16th, 17th, wouldn't he?
That's what I mean. Is it like, is he doing that much of it? I mean, he might be.
It's just because he's paddling against the fucking tide, isn't it?
I mean, I'll be honest, any time I see Derby win, I'm thinking, he's right, fucking made up. But I mean,
if he keeps them off. Oh my God, mate.
Should he be winning anyway, these games? I don't know.
The form, no, win, draw, win. Their form was better than anyone, up to like 4th, 12th. It's as good as Luton Town, who were in 11th, who got a big win this week. That form-wise, his team are performing in the top half. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think what he's getting praised for, and I think rightly so, is more what he's done to keep them at it and keep the morale going. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and totally. Because managing people's hard, innit? You know what I mean? And like convincing a full squad to stick at it. Because in them games when you're getting beaten, you go into the game and you think this doesn't really matter, we're down anyway. It's hard to keep everyone at 100%. And
especially when you're picking up the papers and it's like it's going into, more points reductions potentially, and there's this guy.
Stuff like that with Jagielka, the players are going to be thinking, we need him. And then Wayne Rooney's got to go in and go, right lads, it's happened because of this and this. And then get them back up for training to go and play a game and get a result.
No, he is. He's from the outside, he's doing a great job.
The thing I like about him though is he's took his way of playing into the way he manages and speaks, but without like the cringe of swearing and being. But he just looks dead straight. His interviews like, this is what I want. This is how it's going. And I think that's how he was as a player, wasn't he?
I'd love him to do well, mate. I'm a big Rooney fan. Yeah. Staying on footy a bit longer, mate.
Can we talk about the AFCON, please?
Yeah, God.
Did you see that goal?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's the goalie doing?
That's horrendous.
He's crying, we've seen him on the floor, rolling around crying.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
Mate, someone put up a thing on Twitter going, people won't put this on Twitter, and it was like, good goal scored. There was one from outside the box, the rest of them were like one-on-ones. People are going, look at the quality.
No, it was...
embarrassingly bad.
It makes you look at the whole, like, how many of these are fucking being paid off. I mean, what is it a case of, like?
I don't know. But
no one's that bad.
He catches it at the dead ball line and throws it.
Do you see who got the assist? Stephen Corker.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I seen him running into like...
Well, he assists it, yeah. It's so bad.
Mate, honest to God, it's got to be corrupt. And I said to you...
It's got to be corrupt.
We need to be careful because like, I don't want to bash the African Cup of Nations every week.
It's hard not to, though.
It's not about the continent of Africa. It's just the tournament's fucking terrible.
Mate, but there was even loads of thingy about Aubameyang. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But now, so Aubameyang is...
He's going to Saudi, by the way.
He's got problems with his heart, so Gabon... Is that how you say it? Gabon?
Yeah, I guess.
But then there was sent him home, but then there was all rumours that like he didn't want to play and stuff.
Mate, if you got there, if you were in the Premier League...
Oh, God.
And you got to them pitches and you're like, what the fuck?
But he's used to like having his kit laid out, his this and that, and he's turned up in Gabon and
Club More.
They're like, there's a big gang of them talking about how much they're making if they fucking, do a foul or whatever.
Oh, mate, talking about corruption, did you see the Granite Xhaka thing?
Well, there was 2 this week. There was 2. The first one was 14 Scottish footballers and managers are facing fines. And then after that, it was Granit Xhaka. Have you seen...
50 grand matched on Xhaka to be booked from 9 to 4. And then... So we went from 9 to 4 to 4 to 5, and then he absolutely cleaned someone out.
No, he wasn't.
What was he?
No, I've not seen the clip.
No, I've only seen the thing.
So yeah, loads of money goes on Xhaka how do you say his name? Xhaka. So loads of money goes in from Xhaka to be booked. The Arsenal are winning 3-1 against Leeds. And mate, it's the most incredible amount of time wasting ever. There's a free kick.
Oh, the free kick.
And he just should take the free kick. And he's just like almost looking at the ref going, I'm not kicking this ball until you book me. And that's what the booking's for. But
I hadn't watched the thing, I just read it.
No, yeah, it's just this booking. So, yeah.
That says more about Xhaka, by the way. Because I just assumed he was wiping someone else.
Yeah, no, it was time wasting. And it's the most obvious time wasting you've ever seen in your life. So it brings into a bit more of, obviously gambling can be, you know, a pretty serious thing for a lot of people, and you know no doubt there'll be a lot of suicides from it, and it's you know, people can get themselves in a bad way. So there is the funny side, but that's what these gambling companies do in sport. They've got such a big hold on the market. You look at Bet365, you know, you can bet on fucking what colour bills Jurgen Klopp's wearing. You know, it's mad.
I like, well, obviously gambling is something I love doing, but I'm well in control of it, and like I gamble on things that I know about. But I hate the underbelly of like what some gambling companies do, and especially like online roulette, and that's mental.
That's the worst one, yeah.
That is mental. But like the stuff that I think there's a bet that you can do now, and it's like zero, like when the game kicks off to 59 seconds into the game. So you can bet on something happening in that 60 seconds. That's not bet. That's just
pure luck.
Like
a lottery.
To win at betting, you have to obviously be disciplined, have a strategy, and know what you're looking at. You cannot physically tell what's going to happen in 1 minute. It's impossible.
And that's where the corruption comes in.
Because you can jump.
You know, if you said to Granit Xhaka and you said, right, mate, you need to throw the game, Arsenal need to get beat. Now that's a big ask, something that he's not 100% controlling. He might not be happy with doing it. He might not want to see Arsenal get beat. There's a lot of ramifications with that. However, if you say to Granit Xhaka, mate, put the ball out for a throw in the first minute, it's not really affecting the game that much.
No.
So if he can say to the kickoff, lads, pass it back to me, and he pings a 70-yard ball in the hope to try and pick out his winger, and it goes out for a throw, the game's not really, you know what I mean? Yeah. Arsenal haven't through the game, but yeah, he's got that, and that's where it's a problem.
100%. Do you think he's involved? I don't know. Like,
lad, have you seen the time wasting?
So bad, innit? Like it's you can't not be involved. Like
Smith Rowe's giving him options. They're all giving him options, and he's just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Why would he do it though? He's got he must be on 80 grand a week, isn't he? 90 grand a week.
Is it just his mates going, hey lad, go on?
Yeah, help the lads out. Imagine all them in the booze. It's coming, boys. Granite's logged in.
But like you see, it's happened in footy as well, hasn't it? Sorry, up in Scotland. So
yeah, it's fucking.
So that's happened. There's quite a lot of footy, to be fair, isn't it? And then we've got also the free kick specialist.
Walkouts.
Wow.
Do you know why we have obviously a group here to get our topics going? If Mo Salah or someone hit that, mate, they'd be called like. I didn't see it till about hours later on Twitter. No one was even speaking about it.
Unreal.
He is, if not the best, one of the best dead ball takers.
It reminds me of the Ronaldo free kick that he done against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
With David James, just like what happened there. Mate, there's only David Beckham who's ahead of him in the dead ball in the Premier League.
Do you know what though? Obviously he can hit them careless, can't he? That a pinpoint.
He can hit every type.
Hit it like that. He's a good player as well.
Every type he can hit.
He's skipper there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's a Southampton lad though, isn't he? Like,
is he? Yeah.
That's some strike that.
To
God.
Do you want to mention the weekly obituary of footballers who've died this week?
No fainting, dying, or fucking getting kicked out of Australia.
The only thing I'll say is apparently Dave Cotterill, if you want to look whoever he is, said that.
He's got a good story, him. He was Dave Cotterill was a top player.
He tweeted this week saying that football heart attacks have gone up 300% in 2021. And if you're vaccinated, you're 6 to 7 times. I'm not saying it, Nelson. Go and check him out and give him shit if you don't want to listen to me.
He's got check his story. He's got a good story as well. He was
Dave Cotterill, yeah.
Dave Cotterill, is it?
Cotterill, sorry.
Yeah, he was a player, and he ended up suffering bad. I think he was playing until very recently. He ended up suffering bad with alcohol addiction.
Oh wow.
Got clean and stuff like that. But he's got a good story. Might try and get him on.
And then the last thing, mate, was was shithousery.
Oh, maybe I love Scott Brown.
Scott Brown to Ryan Kent after he got sent off.
Yeah, because they've had a little bit of like back and forth over the years, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Ryan Kent obviously says something a little bit, doesn't he? And then he's just like, that's you.
Go on,
you got sent off. But I mean, football shithousery's got a place in the world, and it always will.
Love it, mate. Yeah. Love it.
I've seen Ryan Barson's one where he's like, he pretends to throw it in. And it like goes up in the air and he has to take it again and all the fans are going mad and he looks at them and points at his watch and he's like winks at them and stuff.
Does he? Yeah.
Well, honestly, God, I love it. Got loads of time for it.
Well, on the whole shithousery and all the kind of banter and stuff, you know, I love it all and like you say, it's rightly got a place there. But then did you see a thing saying Man United warn fans following height discrimination towards a Wolves player?
What was they just skitting him for being small?
Or tall, I'm guessing. I don't know. Manchester United have sent a warning to a section of fans who attended the home fixture against Wolves on January the 3rd after discriminatory language was alleged to direct towards a Wolves player in relation to their height. It doesn't say whether it was because he was too big or too small.
That pedant is tiny, though, isn't he? Like 5'2" or something.
But I think that comes a little bit hand in hand with shithousery and banter and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, you might have got called a lanky string of piss or a fucking midget. But I mean, alright, at what point do we say in society you're not allowed to give someone shit and take the piss out of them?
It's a very fine line, isn't he?
Come on.
Mate, to be honest, if you get... It's like getting called a scouse cunt, isn't it? Like what gets thrown about in sport or life or whatever. It's like, oh my God, you've just said the most obvious. If someone says, you're midget and you're small.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, did I? Do you know what I mean? It's like
I'm like
the
that
most obvious thing.
I'm like that with my leg. Take the piss out of me for having one leg, but be creative with it.
Yeah, don't be
oh, you're getting legless tonight. Come on, mate. You know, if you see me with a beer, yes, I'm getting legless. Yeah. It's obvious. Be creative.
Yeah, that's it. Mate, there's no... You're right, though, it's the world we're living in, but you can't stop just like a bit of, you midget. There's not... Come on.
Who's that offensive to midgets?
They changed the name
small
midget
people.
Gems. See that?
Oh, stop it.
They have.
No, they haven't.
They have. I'm telling you now. This is not sport related, but people will back me up. Midget Gems. Yeah, first thing. M&S change Midget Gems name over fear of causing offence.
Oh my God.
They're now called Kinda Small Gems.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Smaller than the proper one, Jim.
But the fact that Man United...
mini Gems they're called now.
A club of their size have come out and said, you know, don't give anyone shit because of the height. Come on.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah. It was a person from Liverpool Hope University who got it banned as well. From one of our own.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might not have been a Scouser though. I'm gonna call him an out of towner.
yeah, probably. No, I'm totally with you, mate. There's got to be a space for a little bit of shit to be given. I'm sorry, but mate, I've seen our own fans give Peter Crouch shit. He was being massive.
Yeah, well, his feet stick out the bed. We used to sing that. Well, some club didn't they?
I mean, it's just, as soon as it starts getting to homophobic or racist or whatever, then yeah. But there's got to be a space for someone to like have a little go at people. But that's what people will say. They'll say, well, if it's offensive in racial terms, it's offensive to people who are small. But there's a line, I'm sorry, there's a common sense line that you have to use, isn't it?
Yeah. Mate, before we jump onto the boxing and UFC, because I know there's a little bit to talk about there.
UFC this week.
I've seen more rumours since you put me onto it. More rumours about Lewis maybe not coming back.
Telling you.
I think you were onto something there, you know.
Ahead of the game.
I initially thought it was just a little bit of pill to swallow after after he got absolutely fucking took the cleaners. Absolutely took the cleaners, but I think he might be just a little bit...
1 foot out the door?
Well, just from what I'm reading on Twitter, I went down a little Lewis Hamilton fucking rabbit hole, and it's not all as maybe plain sailing as you might think.
I think so. When I said I don't think he believes in Mercedes. Someone commented saying, well, they've got the best car. He definitely does believe in them. But I just think he believes that Red Bull might have the number now, going ahead into obviously with the rule changes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just think, I wouldn't be surprised if he did come back, but I don't think it's as straightforward as people might think.
It's interesting.
It is very interesting.
Mate, should we move on to boxing and UFC?
Yeah.
Because there's a pretty big weekend coming up in the UFC, and there's been quite a lot of news this week in the boxing.
Yeah, the boxing world just doing what it does.
Did you see Adam Cattell's tweet?
Yeah, about...
Conor Benn?
Yeah.
So the WBC have removed Conor Benn from their rankings as he is not yet registered for the VADA clean boxing programme. That same clean boxing programme, the WBC ignored when Oscar Valdez tested positive for a prohibited substance and then fought that same week. I mean, that's a piss take.
Mate.
That is disgusting.
It's a joke, isn't it? So they have this clean boxing programme that you have to enrol to in order to, fight for WBC titles. Conor Benn, and it wasn't just Conor Benn, I don't know why they just decided to throw his name out there. Loads of fighters, like Chris Billam-Smith was another one. A couple of fighters who were like, but that might just be them not wanting to go down the WBC route. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean they're not signed up to other drug enforcement agencies. But basically, they say it's, in order to be in our rankings, you have to be in our clean boxing programme. Their champion failed, and they were like, don't worry about it. Just fight that on Saturday, we worry about it later.
I mean, the hypocrisy, and it's just disgusting, that.
Do you know what, mate? It's embarrassing. Even having to explain it now, it's just embarrassing.
So do you not think it's no stain on Conor Benn and the fact that...
The clean boxing programme is WBC's thing. I've got no... he's not failed anything. He just hasn't enrolled in their version of, a drug enforcement agency. But, he's with Matchroom, who, despite the... they've obviously come to Canelo after he failed. But they are... And they do pay... there's evidence of it. They pay for the most stringent drug testing and stuff like that. So I've got no issues that he's a drug cheat or nothing, but it's just the way it's reported, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow he could sign up to the clean boxing programme if he gets a fight that's going to launch him up them rankings. Do you know what I mean? Just might have his eye on other places, but again, it just leaves the door open for, because I no doubt someone will comment and go, well, the clean boxing programme means this and this and this. And then someone else will say, oh, but VADA, you need to be with VADA, or you need to be with WADA, or the problem is there's too many people saying we're the rule makers. There needs to be one rule, one company, one, and that's it. And when it's not, you get situations like this.
More positive news, mate. Former guest of the podcast, Carly Skelly.
Yeah, big
fight against Mitchell.
Yeah.
On the 5th of Feb.
She's the one who we won on in the Echo Arena, Mitchell.
Yeah.
And, who beat Shannon Courtney.
So
that's a big chance.
WBA World Bantamweight title, 5th of Feb in Phoenix, Arizona.
Should have been obviously Smith and Vargas card. But
really?
That's going ahead. That card's going ahead with Quadras. But yeah, she'll just be on the undercard. That's a big chance, mate. I quite rate Jamie Mitchell, but that's a big chance. That.
What do you think of Carly's chances?
She's the underdog, but you don't get opportunities like that in America for the world title very often.
Imagine if she can
pull it off.
Be boss that.
I mean, good luck to her. I think she's that's one of them things. She's going to fight for a proper world title in America as the underdog. You know what I mean? She
literally sat in that seat then saying like that's my dream as well.
Cracking, not many people get to go and do that. Not in America. I know we all have our UK bias, but if I was a boxer, mate, I'd be wanting to have a world title shot in America. Do you know what I mean? It's the glory, innit?
Good luck, Carly.
Yeah, good luck.
Again, it's a couple of weeks, so we'll no doubt talk about it a bit more. But yeah, buzzing for that.
We've got loads going. Thingies heating up in it. They've seen Eubank Juniors and Williams has moved to the 5th of Feb, which is a heavy fight.
Yeah.
Did you see the press conference between Lee Wood and Michael Conlon?
No.
So they're fighting March the 12th, the week before Cheltenham. So they did a press conference yesterday in Nottingham, kicked off a little bit, and then they're flying to Belfast today to do another one, obviously in front of Conlon's home crowd. But that's gonna be a proper fight, mate. March 12th.
Do you think then, these things, you think they get spoken about behind the camera saying, right?
Well, the thing is,
let's juice this up a bit.
Michael Conlon has obviously had his connections to MTK, so has Ben Davison. But obviously Ben Davison trains Lee Wood. Michael Conlon was there with his brother Jamie Conlon, who's his advisor, and they were saying to him, we've heard from people that you don't even believe in Lee Wood. You said he would get beaten X fight. And
that's bitchy all that, isn't it?
Started going and he was like, I didn't say that. And he said, fucking did you lie? We know people have told us, and you know the person who's told us that before these fights you said are likely, but he hasn't been with me long enough, he might get beat tonight, in confidence to other people who've then told the Conlons. And they're like, don't you start talking, because you don't even believe in your own fighter, do you know what I mean? And then obviously Lee Wood played it well. He was like, mate, I'm just going to knock you out, and that's it. And Conlon was like, you won't knock me out.
Such an awkward position for the fighter to be in, isn't it? Yeah. And he's then thinking, did me trainer really say that?
But when Michael Conlon says that, Lee Wood goes, it's a load of shit. But when you go home at night and you get in the shower, do you know what I mean? You think, hang on, start watching old interviews and that trying to find out. But that's the fight.
That's mind games, that 101.
That's the fight I'm most looking forward to out of the whole schedule, to be honest.
What do you think for it?
Conlon is the favourite, which I didn't expect because Lee Wood goes in for the form, but I think Conlon wins. Michael Conlon has, like, I think he's only got 8 knockouts or something, but he spoke a good game, but he's not delivered on what people thought he would. Do you know when he turned over from the amateurs? I just feel like it could be like a bit of a moment, you know what I mean? Where he really announces himself as a professional.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a great fight, mate. Great fight.
No,
and I'm really toying with the idea of being there the week before Cheltenham.
Let's sort it then.
And the week before UFC London.
And the week before Liverpool United.
Oh my God. The week before I get divorced.
So it'd be that fight, Cheltenham, UFC London, Man United, Liverpool. Yeah. Let's just book a week off away from the missus. I'll book a week off away from my daughter.
Oppo. Oppo, I'm going, lad.
Let's do it. Right, you've heard him. Get it booked in. A week away. Where is it? Nottingham.
It's not even far from Cheltenham.
We'll just stay down there for the week. We'll have a proper Andy and Jordan week.
Let's do it. And if anyone wants to sponsor the podcast, they can, because we're going to need it. Let's do it. UFC London's going to be unreal, mate.
Paddy's opponent got announced for that.
Well, Dana did.
Sort of announced.
And then Graham Boylan, who's Paddy's manager, the owner of Cage Warriors, was like, no, it's not done yet. But Jared Gordon's a decent fight. I'd expect Paddy to win, but as someone who's got a hell of a lot of experience in the UFC, do you know what I mean? He's been there, beat Chris Fishgold, who was the next teammate to Paddy's. No, that's a decent step up. That, like, definitely can't knock Paddy for taking that.
I see Molly put a video out saying, do not ask me for tickets, I can't get one.
Wait till we try and get UFC tickets. We're going to have to try and pull some. I'll leg trick you, lad. You go, like...
Really?
Yeah, gone.
Alright, I'll start putting the feelers out.
Just ringing people, hey mate, do you remember when I got my leg blown off? and he tried to sing UFC tickets.
Oh God. I'm going to try everything.
Honest to God, mate.
Probably
to see it come back is just unbelievable.
I know, 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good space to finish the show off then with UFC, mate, because it looks to be an absolute cracker this weekend.
Oh, well, you know, the card isn't, like, as flashy as it could be, but the main fight, mate, Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, just...
How big is he, height-wise? 6'1"?
Both of them?
Ngannou?
6'5", I think.
He looks scary.
Yeah. I've seen Cyril Gane.
I think Ngannou.
You think Ngannou's going to win?
Who's the favourite going into it?
I think just Cyril Gane. Just. It's very, very, very close.
I just think, mate, he's a
one-shot death artist, mate. He'll put you asleep.
I know the other lad is so much more agile, isn't he? From watching what I've done a little bit of.
Yeah, 13-10 in Ngannou is.
Is he? I looked at the done a little bit of digging up on it and stuff, and they both just scare me, to be honest.
They scare me, but the backstory is even. They were training partners, mate.
Who's the video? There was a video that went out, a leaked video, wasn't there? Of someone dropping the other one or someone getting it?
No, they're doing like a little thing where Gane's just catching him a load, but it's like technical. It's not a actual thing. But obviously, Ngannou used to train with Cyril Gane's head coach. Then they fell out. Ngannou moved to America. Ngannou got beat a couple of times. Come back to France. Went back with his old trainer. Then back out to America. Left him. So they fell out, and then Cyril Gane. But at this point, Ngannou was the man in the gym. Cyril Gane was on his way up. So then obviously Cyril Gane's took the place at the head of that gym. Ngannou's gone off to do what he does in America, become, he's improving, like, he's definitely got better wrestling and stuff now. But it's just, mate, it's a fascinating class. Like, they were mates though, you've seen that thing where they walk past each other in the corridor? Yeah. Gane's waiting for, like, to say
but he said though that it was more...
It was about the coach, yeah. But these are big old dudes, these mates.
You know what scares me though, lad, when you watch, like, you watch people fight. I'm not saying that I'm not scared of bloody, when you see boxing, you think, I wouldn't like to get hit by him. But if I see a lad who's kind of my size, my height in a boxing ring, you think, fucking, I wouldn't like to get hit by him. Yeah. But when you see a 6'5", 6'6", massive fella like that throwing, bombs, that's when you think, oh God, no.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I sent you that clip of Gane, didn't I? Said how much to take a few of these.
Leg kicks, yeah.
That's
mate.
It. They just...
You don't realise how big these people are.
No. And there's... boxing, obviously, it's skill, isn't it? It's like... I'm not saying MMA's not skill, of course, but it's like all with your hands and these can take your head clean off your shoulders. They can rip your head, your arm, or your leg off, or they can put you on the floor and just punch the living daylights out of you.
I'd just take out mine off for him and just say that.
Injured. But yeah, mate.
Who are you going for?
I think Cyril Gane, and I think he'll stop him. Mate, he's been doing MMA for 3 years.
How's he that good and got in that position?
He was a Muay Thai fighter, kickboxer, which is massive in France. But then switched to MMA, and do you know when you're talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan and natural talent? Sometimes things just click. Do you know what I mean? A certain skill set just clicks, and he can do it all. It's scary.
And a guy who's going to be on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the thing is, like I said with Calvin Keita, if you bet against Ngannou, you're brave, and I'm brave, but because he only needs to land once, and it's curtains. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, how good your chin is. You know, there's that old scientific thing of, you know, it only takes a couple of pounds in the right place, and you know, you're going to sleep. He throws with bad intentions as well. Bad intentions.
Yeah, I can't wait for the fight.
But I think Cyril Gane, I think he might knock him out as well.
Really?
I was toying with the idea of submission because I think Cyril Gane might try and, you know, take his biggest strength away and put him on his back a bit. But I reckon he might try and chop him up with them leg kicks as much as he can, and then take him out, maybe, you know, drop him and stop him while he's on the floor or whatever. But I just think he's too well balanced. But, you know, if you do bet on Cyril Gane, don't fucking be crying if he gets death shot at that one fucking big overhand right, because it can happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's very, very, it can easily happen.
You staying up for it?
Yeah. I usually, so at home, usually have a sleep in on a Saturday. My missus has a sleep in on a Sunday. Switched it around already.
Nice.
So I can stay up and then straight to bed. But yeah, the card as well, you've got Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo, flyweight co-main event. The third fight. So they drew the first one, I think. Yeah, drew. Then Brandon Moreno choked Davison Figueiredo out, and now they're going again. And I think Davison Figueiredo might turn it around.
Yeah.
Mate, he's from Brazil. Like, he's obviously, you know, he's been through a lot and like lived in poverty and all that stuff. But I don't know, he like when he got choked out, he just didn't seem himself really. Do you know what I mean? One of them nights, and I just think he's underdog as well, about 6-4 outright. I'm gonna have a go with that. I think he might get in. I think it might be by decision, but you know, it's a great, again, two little flyweights. Like, you know, you look at them and say these big men, Gannon and Ngannou. You look at these two and they're just so fast and that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just wrap you up. But the old card's good. I think the one bet that I would give people is watch out for the featherweight Ila Toipora against Charles Jourdain. He is going to be one of the best fighters in the UFC by the end of this year. He is unbelievable. But on the early prelims, you have a fighter called Genaro Valdez, who is 10-0 against Matt Frivola. He's 13-8 Valdez outsider. He was on Dana White's Contender Series. He's a bit of a like no nonsense, just, you know, swing for the bleachers sort of guy. But Matt Frivola's coming off 2 defeats. He's a very, very experienced fella, you know, seen it all in the UFC and that, but never going to get to the top. But, you know, has had a lot of good fights. Just think he's a bit vulnerable now to someone coming in who's 10-0. Maybe not, you know, he's definitely not fought at this level properly before, but I think this is a good, you know, opportunity for him to get a good first win in the UFC at underdog odds. He's a teammate of Brandon Moreno, so he's obviously got, you know, his teammate higher up on the card. But yeah, I think keep an eye on that. Genaro Valdez 13-8 on the early prelims. Get yourself some early money.
Happy days.
And that,
I think it's not to be disrespectful to those lads you just mentioned, but
it's all about the big fellas.
It's all week I've just seen even Joe Rogan done a little video on just about it all, and that I think it's just been massively.
Mate, if you've never watched UFC before and you watch us listen to it, talk about it, and you think, you know, I'll give it a shot, just watch these two and you'll come back next week. Yeah.
No, anything you want to say? There'll be a lot of I got a few messages, apologies from Hollow Ginge. You know, your half was disappointed.
Yeah. To be honest,
do we have a plan for it going forward?
No, not at the minute, no. But the horse that won, Tom Bellamy, who's rode Splash of Gins to some big victories, won fair and square. You know, unbelievable ride from Tom. So firstly, congrats to him. Things just like that you can't put on a podcast just probably didn't go right for Hollow, but he got beat fair and square, which is the main thing. You know, he weren't going to win as good as he was feeling that day. That horse was just better on the day. So Yeah, a little bit of fallout in that, but, you know.
Loads of people ask about it, so I just thought we need to mention it.
Yeah, we do need to mention it, but yeah, we'll have probably more news in a week or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon he'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll have a few winners this year, don't worry about that.
We need to get your half back on the normal pod as well.
We do actually need to get my half on, yeah.
We've had still loads of boss feedback from our latest podcast on last Monday with Dave Thelwell. Just loads of boss feedback from that. We've got Kate Stewart currently available on Patreon. That's going to be out on Monday. And we've also got another Patreon coming out on Sunday with Jockey and Jay from Transalpino, where we're talking about 25 years of men's fashion, how it's changed and where it's going. So no better time to jump on board the pod.
No, and we got some boss guests coming up.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Boiling Point with Stephen Graham in, we've got the director coming on Friday, tomorrow, which will be available in a couple of weeks. So if you do like the content, you do want to hear to mine and Jordan's mumblings on a Wednesday, then sign up for Patreon. It's £1 a week, £4 a month. That's cheaper than a coffee. And
you will, going forward from February, you'll get, obviously this Monday show that goes out, you'll get a Patreon exclusive on a Wednesday. Then you will have
sports show on a Friday,
which comes out, and then obviously the early access every Sunday. So 4 pieces of content for £4.
Pound a episode really. So yeah, you get 8 days early access than everyone else. So again, if you do like what we put out, it's £1 a week. I don't drink coffee, but some coffees,
yeah, well more expensive than that.
They're like £5, aren't they? Some of them.
I've been working at Starbucks like this week, mate. I'm about 40 buff down. You know.
Yeah, it does mean a lot for me and Jordan. It enables us to build the show more. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the support. Massive thanks again to Monterex and Ver. All their kind of codes. It's Leg It and Leg It 20 will be in the bio. Have a boss weekend.
Thank you. Love it, lad.